Hello, Michigan Wolverine football fans and basketball fans. So, before we get into it, hold on. Okay, now I'm ready to start the video. Okay, today we're going to talk about Michigan football and basketball. So, Michigan offensive line, great job. Harbaugh, you better shake Ed Warner's hand and give him a round of applause because that man has done a great job on offensive line. You see our offensive line is putting up numbers, except against Ohio State. We need a good offensive line against Ohio State, but against any other team, we have a great offensive line. Shout out to Ed Warner. That man deserves a fruit basket. He every day he puts his hard work in to make our offensive line get better. Every season our offensive line get better. So if I was Jim Harbaugh, I would give that man a fruit basket and shake that man's hand and tell him thank you. Now, there's been a lot of stuff about Josh Gaddis, what he's gonna bring to the table. People saying, "Oh, well, Michigan after being that number one defensive ranking, and then getting another coach from Alabama, Crimson Tide, and they got five. Alabama got 5 stars. We got an Alabama from one of Nick Saban's coaches join the Wolverines, and he's on offense, not on defense. Offense. If before we win anything, we need right now. We already got a great offensive line. Like I already said, we already have a great offensive line. Defense. Now I'm about to talk defense. Harbaugh, you got exposed. Don Brown, you can't keep using that same zone man plays like that's not working no more. If you know it's not working no more, then stop doing that play. If you know what that play is, whatever play you gonna make, and you know, and if you go out on the field and you get exposed on that play, but if the offense scores, and you know you've been exposed on defense, because you've made that play, you're gonna get your butt kicked. You guys all saw last year versus Ohio State what they put up on us. Because Don Brown is so stubborn, he won't change his defensive scheme he won't change his defense playbook. Alabama, Nick Saban could change his defensive line. He changes his defensive line plays every year. That's how they got 5 stars all the time. They got 5 stars. Alabama with 5 stars, and they win national championships and all that, and win championships and win bowl games. 5 stars. I didn't really like. I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna tell Karan Higdon he didn't do enough running, but he didn't. So we still didn't beat. Everybody was guaranteed. Everybody saying was Michigan gonna beat. It was their year. Last year was their year. All they had to do was beat Ohio State. That's all they had to do. And if you beat Ohio State, you had a spot in the Big Ten championship, a spot in the Big Ten championship, and a spot in the college football playoffs. All you had to do was beat Ohio State, and you would have been in those two things. You would have been in the Big Ten championship and the college football playoffs. with Alabama, with Clemson, with the rest of them. But instead, we lost. Harbaugh knows now, after getting Josh Gaddis, hopefully he'll know that not to run that same running man. You can't run man all day. You could run man on teams like Rutgers or Rutgers and Indiana in the first quarter, but second quarter against, you can keep running man against sorry teams like Rutgers and all the other sorry teams in the Big Ten. You can run that. You can do those plays on them, and defense, you can do those zone man plays on them too, because they can't beat you. But we got to work on crossing routes, man. Harbaugh, you've been to the Super Bowl. You should know something about crossing routes. You should know something about crossing routes. And you have not taught any of the Michigan players how to do crossing routes. Like, I'm not gonna hate on Harbaugh, because people are already criticizing him, telling him how you won an NFC championship, you've been to the Super Bowl, and you also lost in the Super Bowl. And everybody's saying every time that year when Michigan gets the big bright lights, they get the big bright lights for Michigan. Like last year, when we had a spot to go to the Big Ten Championship, a spot to go to the college football playoffs, it went out the window. Because what did we do? Don Brown used that same defense, running zone. And Ohio State was doing crossing routes. You can't keep doing that. They're going to beat your defense if you keep running crossing routes. Of course they're going to score. And you'd be like, how do we stop? And they'd be asking, Coach, how do we get a stop? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Because Don Brown doesn't know anything about stopping crossing routes and other plays. Big plays downfield.